This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. The Trump government shutdown is over, for now. But before it began, I spoke about the corpse animated by hate named Ann Coulter and her sadomasochistic Twitter relationship with Donald Trump, and also what it means for our country. It's a super strange and sick dynamic that they have, and I explained it in full detail, how our commander-in-chief bent the knee and essentially gave Ann Coulter veto power over our federal budget. And so, over a month ago, Ann Coulter said, no wall, no deal. Trump reneged on his word and did Coulter's bidding by shutting down the government and hurting, for over a month, hundreds of thousands of federal workers, as well as tens of millions of Americans who rely on the federal government for services. But why? Why does Ann Coulter actually matter so much to Trump, and how has she managed to keep herself around? Think about that. You don't really see many pictures of Ann Coulter and Donald Trump meeting face to face. There's no footage of Ann Coulter in the White House, and she isn't really seen sniffing around at Trump rallies the way Sean Hannity always is. So why is Trump so concerned with what Ann Coulter spews? The answer is actually pretty simple, and embarrassing if you ask me. It's because Donald Trump doesn't think he can win at the asshole Olympics against Ann Coulter. He's afraid he's always going to come in second place. Let me say that again. Trump has got to know inside of his pile of wet golden retriever shedded hair covered head that Ann Coulter can out-bully him any day of the week. He's older, but she's been at it a lot longer. Ann Coulter's work experience of being an unrelenting and out-of-control tongue-lashing garbage person goes back almost 4 decades. Back to the 90s. Trump was still photoshopping his face on Time magazine covers when Ann Coulter was helping a friend on the Paula Jones case against Bill Clinton, and already started sharpening her teeth in a nasty little column bashing Clinton. Oh, and that friend working the Paula Jones case? George Thomas Conway III, whom Ann Coulter then introduced to her friend, Kellyanne Fitzpatrick. You may know her better by her married name of Kellyanne Conway. Drain the swamp, indeed. But back to Trump's apparent paralyzing fear of Ann Coulter. You may be asking yourself how I can be so sure that we just experienced a record-setting shutdown all because Trump is too much of an unmitigated coward to push back against Ann Coulter. Well, I'll let Mike Huckabee explain. Talking on Brian Kilmeade's Fox News radio show on January 21st, he addressed Ann Coulter's non-stop Twitter trolling of Trump's failure to break ground on his stupid wall. And again, that trolling is all kinds of awful. I mean, Ann Coulter often likes to get her day started by tweeting her now trademark, quote, border wall construction updates. A few times a week, she puts on her metaphorical dominatrix outfit, puts the GIMP mask on Donald Trump, and then just whips away at him by tweeting, quote, miles completed yesterday, 0. Miles completed since inauguration, 0. Next update tomorrow. She's tweeted this same tweet literally dozens of times. And Mike Huckabee thinks it's unfair, going with the ever-popular defense, if you think it's so easy, why don't you try it? He said to Kilmeade about Coulter, adding, if she's got the way to get it done, then let her run for office. She's never done that, so she's never had to be in the position of having to sit down and work through something to a solution.
You have people like Ann Coulter come forward, who I really like. Ann, her books are great. She's an original thinker and great story. But Ann Coulter says, I voted for Trump and I got Jeb. Rush Limbaugh, in a more positive fashion, also says the president shouldn't be giving. You just can't govern without giving in. And if conservatives, even though you're a conservative, there's not enough conservatives for you to win the presidency. You can't govern just for conservatives. So how does the president win here?
Well, first of all, Ann Coulter, if she's got the way to get it done, let her run for office. She's never done that, so she's never had to be in the position of having to sit down and work through something to a solution. I have, and the president's in that position.
Oh, cry me a river, you clownish artery clog. Ugh. It's the follow-up question from Kilmeade that's so interesting, though. He asks straight up why Trump cares so much what Ann Coulter thinks. And here it comes, from Mike Huckabee's greasy jowls to God's ears.
Why do you think the president cares so much what Ann Coulter thinks?
Well, I know he doesn't want people to go out and try to stir up his base against him, and I'm not sure.
Well, I know he doesn't want people to go out and try to stir up his base against him. Yeah, it's that simple. Desperate to hold on to the coalition of diehard supporters he cobbled together by ridiculing, taunting, mocking, debasing, and defaming other people. Trump is super scared that someone better at this will come along and pull the string to unravel the whole ball of stupid. And when it comes to Ann Coulter, Trump would be bringing wet toilet paper to a gunfight. You think I'm wrong? I dare you to find one instance of Donald Trump saying one negative word in Ann Coulter's direction. It can't be done because there have been crickets ever since Donald Trump caved on his previous recalcitrant position on the government shutdown. Crickets even after she tweeted, quote, "Good news for George Herbert Walker Bush. As of today, he is no longer the biggest wimp ever to serve as president of the United States." I say crickets because the Wall Street Journal interviewed Trump after all of this, and all Trump had to say was, quote, "I hear she's become very hostile," and, quote, "maybe I didn't return her phone call or something," unquote. What? Where's that counterpuncher he's always bragging about being? Ann Coulter enjoys the same revered space on Donald Trump's Twitter machine as Vladimir Putin. He can't touch them. Ann Coulter and Vladimir Putin, they don't use catchy Trump nicknames. Ann Coulter and Vladimir Putin can trash talk about Trump with total impunity. Ann Coulter and Vladimir Putin beat up Trump for lunch money every day of the week, and he just turns around and pulls America's underwear over our collective heads. We all get to suffer when these bullies get to him. So let's play a little game. I know you're not supposed to encourage bullying, and I remember our First Lady telling us to be best, but here it goes. Donald Trump, you can do it, little buddy. Take the weekend and put together just one dumb little tweet back at Ann Coulter. Just a few little words. I promise I'll retweet it. I'll get my friends to retweet it. We'll get all of Twitter to give it a little heart. Because if there's one thing that you can do that will win the popular vote in America's hearts, is to stop Ann Coulter's chokehold of control of you. Be the better bully, Mr. President. Unless, of course, you're afraid.